Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about part 2 of how to get clients as a first-time lawyer. So I'm calling it part 2 because I've already shared such a video. I shared it, I think, last year. So if you are a newly admitted advocate or not a newly admitted advocate and you want to know how to get your first clients from scratch, then this is the video for you. I've often gotten those questions. Like that's normally the most common question someone will ask you. How did you get your clients? So for those new here, I'm Ruth Tanui, an advocate, and also the founder and managing partner of Ruth Tanui and Company Advocates. So for those who have not yet followed us on our social media pages, we have lawyers helping each other 2020 on Instagram. So we normally share daily conversations about maybe such conversations, getting clients, and also on Facebook, it's lawyers helping each other, and LinkedIn is lawyers helping each other. So if you haven't followed us, you can follow us on those pages to catch up with such conversations. So let's go straight to the video. But if by there I have my notes on this book. So if you see me looking down up, so the first way to get clients is social media. I will not stop stressing this. Social media, I normally say before the invention of social media, how people used to put themselves out there to the public is through maybe you had to pay an advertisement, maybe on you had to pay an advertisement, either maybe a newspaper or a radio station or a TV station. But now with social media, I normally say it's free advertising. Because creating a social media page, so long as you have an Android phone and you have data, you can create a Facebook page. So I normally say it's basically free advertising, and that's normally, surprisingly, that's why I get, like, I can say 50% of my clients is social media. And okay, this is now how you do it. Maybe if you have a Facebook, you can either create if you have a law firm, you can create a law firm page. If you don't have a law firm, like a page, if maybe your law firm like mine is Ruth Tanui and Company Advocates, I have a Facebook page, Ruth Tanui and Company Advocates. But you don't have, because maybe at this stage you don't have a law firm, so maybe you can just start with your own personal page. It's not only Facebook, even Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, all the social media apps, the ones that you're comfortable with or you're more familiar with. So you start by sharing content there. Like just simple, like for me, I normally share something like mistakes people make while buying land in Kenya. Just simple mistakes. And then from there, you share informative information. And trust me, just such a simple post can get you clients. That's what I normally do, because you find by sharing that it doesn't have to be, I don't mean also you do the same thing. Get an area that you're well conversant with. For me, I'm most conversant with conveyancing. It's the area I've majored in my practice. So just get the area you're conversant with, you share something, or maybe even new areas like intellectual property, cyber law, something like tech, fintech. Just share something informative. And you don't have to do it. Another mistake people normally think, you share once. You can't share once and you start getting results. You make it like, do it frequently. Maybe you can do it once a week or twice a week, depending on your availability of time. Like for me, I normally share. They have said I share mostly about land. So sometimes you get a client. There's a client I've ever gotten for land who was buying property. She came, then she told me, I remember I saw your post. I remember I saw your post on Facebook a year ago. That's why now I wasn't ready to buy land then. Now that when I was ready to buy land is when I went searching for your page. That's what I was telling. Results may not be instant. So don't give up if maybe you have been posting for a week or two or even maybe 3 weeks and nothing's there. Because the main point, I normally say the main point of posting on social media is not to get instant clients. It's just to make sure you're on people's minds when they are ready for that service. So anytime maybe someone is ready, for instance, I share land, I would want, by the time someone is ready to buy property or wants to sell property, because of your constant sharing, that you're the first person that comes to mind. So don't, like, for instance, if I've said may I do land and it works for me, don't also do land if it's not something you're passionate about. So do something that you're passionate about. Because I normally say, as an advocate, everyone has an area of interest. So focus on that. So I hope now this is more clear. It's clearer. Anyway, if you have if it's not so clear, you can put your questions on the comment section, because I normally feel this is the area that doesn't need much. So I know when mostly people ask you, where do you get your clients to social media? People don't really understand, but I normally wish people could just get it, because it's the best place you can get clients easily without putting in effort. Even you don't have to actually even have a law firm at that point. You actually don't have to have a law firm. There's no requirement that when you file a case in court, you have to have a law firm. There's no requirement, so long as you're an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. So the second way to get clients is have a website, especially for the people who are now, who have registered their own firms. For me, the first thing I actually did after registering my firm, I cleared with LSK, getting the letter of no objection. Then I got my registration. The first thing I actually did was establish a website. Some people didn't understand, because of course, our websites, you spend money, it costs money. So that's the first thing I actually did before even getting an office space where I was going to work on. Because I normally say a website is like a cloud office. You know the way you have a physical office and you have walk-ins. A website now, it's a cloud office. It's an office. People now walking. Walk-ins are the people who visit your website. And remember, your website gives all the information, direction, and everything, and it's authentic. Nowadays, people use search everything. If someone wants anything, they search on Google. Even maybe someone is looking for a lawyer. You might be assuming people actually search. And when you have a website, when someone is searching, when he's searching law firms in Kenya, lawyers in Kenya, law firms with websites are the ones that pop up. It's so hard, websites and social media handles. If you're not anywhere on the internet, you don't have a website, you don't have social media handles, it's hard for someone to find you when they search. So invest on a website. It's very important. It has really worked for me, because even, let me tell you, despite the fact you share, like for me now that I share content, I'm on social media, I have my law firms on social media, but people normally go to an extra step. That's why I normally make sure my website is there to check your website. Now that's where, trust me, the number of people who will visit your website. I normally check visits. You find a lot of people, and then you can also get to know the people who have visited your website. Sometimes you'll find all the clients that reach out to you through social media first visited your website. So ensure you have a website. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just start from, because of course, before you perfect the act of the website, unless you go, because maybe you may not afford an expert at that period, just start even Google. But for me, most of these things, I normally find some colleagues who think, I don't know, you got an expert to do some things. Most of these things may use Google. Make Google your friend. Just Google a lot of YouTube videos on business websites to make them more visible when someone Googles you. Such things. Start somewhere. Don't wait. People normally wait before getting a website. I remember when there's a colleague who was saying, for me, I want to first have an office, so that at least by the time I'm putting on my photos on the website, I put the pictures of my office. That doesn't matter at the beginning. Just start, put your information, or put your information, like now where maybe your law firm is. You don't have to start by putting the pictures of your law firm. People grow. You start somewhere. These big law firms, they started somewhere. I remember when I was reading, there was a time before I even became an advocate, Ahmed Nasir, they put an article. For him, he said he started in Westlands with an office, I think it was 8K. He did, and even when starting, he didn't have a secretary. But right now, I'm sure, of course, his law firms are one of the Ivy League firms. The point here is that everyone starts somewhere. So if you sit down waiting to do just start with what you have. Invest on a website. It's very important. The third thing is referrals. Getting referrals. This basically means treat your current clients well. Treat your current clients well, because they're the ones who are going to be your marketing ambassadors. It doesn't matter. Sometimes we have this thing. It's natural as human beings. If someone has bought a small brief of, let's say, 10,000, then you have another who has bought a better brief. It's not small, of maybe 100,000. Naturally, you'll be more focused, give more attention to this person who has bought a brief of 100,000. But what I normally say, treat your clients, even if it's an affidavit of a 3,000, 5,000, treat your clients well. Because those are the clients who are going to market you out there. Because that client might have brought for you a small brief, but the people you'll refer to will bring you big briefs. And what I've noticed, the best clients are normal referral clients. If a client has been, remember, this person who's referring them to you is people they trust. So of course they'll trust. So the fact that they trust them, they'll also trust you. So these are clients. But when I've seen the difference between dealing with a new client who has come directly to you and a client who has been referred to you. The client who has been referred to you, you give them, because you treated the other person well, you did their work perfectly. They come already with high regards. So the moment you even give them a fee note, these people even they likely bargaining. They're likely even not to bargain. They even most of my referral clients, you'll find when they'll pay the entire, because especially it's a litigation matter, you can sometimes, most of the time the client can pay first at deposit, but most of these clients come paying full amount. So I normally say treat your clients well. It doesn't matter how small the brief is, because this referral clients are normally the best, and that's where another place where I get most of my clients, me personally, it's referrals. Because you find you've done a case for someone, like let's say a divorce case, you'll find this person will refer you to even like 3 people who are going through the same. The first way to get clients is getting new briefs from your current clients. This is something I find most advocates just don't take advantage of enough. So this one of course may not mostly apply to newly admitted advocates, but if you already have clients, the good advantage is, of course, by the time you have done maybe one brief with them, you'll have already known your clients, you know everything. So for instance, what I normally say, make sure you list down, like the best way to do this is list down all your current clients with now their cases. Then you see from each client, can you get a new brief from this client? Let me give you an example. If you have a client who is handling a divorce case for that client. So of course, by the time, of course, this client, you've had that initial client meeting, so you know what's happening. So most of the time you'll find these clients, before the divorce, they had children, and they have issues with maintenance, custody. So this is now you get a new brief. This is how now you get, it's more, of course this is not going to be a new client, but it's the same thing, because this is going to be a new brief. This is new money. So I normally say, ensure, take advantage of your current clients. It's not only, that's a good example I can give, because that's not the only, because now through that, now you tell this client after dealing with now the divorce, because the divorce court can't handle the children matter. You tell this client, we can file the matter. Not even normally you can even file during. It doesn't have to be after. So you just give. It's more of an opinion. Give them a legal opinion. Tell them we can now deal with the issue of the children matter. That's a new brief. And then secondly, there's also matrimonial property. So of course, maybe this couple that is divorcing had property. Let's see, for here you can get 2 briefs out of 1. So this has really worked for me. So this is a situation where, even though you don't have it's not a new client, but these are new briefs. These are new briefs you're getting, because this is going to be, they are not new clients, but they are new briefs. The same client, but different briefs. This is a very good way to get new briefs. This one now is not going to be it's not going to be a client, but this is a good way to get new briefs. And then another thing, of course, another situation, if you have, like for me, mostly as I've said, I deal with land matters mostly. So I normally find a situation where from now my client, you find a client who is interested, like their major focus is investing in property. So if this client has bought a property, so what I normally do, when I normally even check, because this client can tell you, they might be buying, like there's a client I had who was buying a commercial property. He's more of a developer. But as you are doing this, you're telling me, by the way, and I would like to purchase a residential property where I'm going to build my house. Let's see, from this is already an idea of how you're going to get a new brief from this client. So what I did is, from, because I mostly deal with, so I know of these real estate companies, genuine ones, who sell properties in areas where you can set residential houses. So you just give them that idea that by then there are these properties. So even ask, I normally even ask maybe an agent from that real estate company to send me the available properties in their real estate company. Then I send them to this client. Then from that you get another brief, you get a new brief for now, for buying. Now he's going to purchase that property. So that's a way. It's not more. This is not going to get your first clients, but it's getting you briefs. It's a good strategy that really works, especially in these economic times. I think right now things are low currently, because I think it's because we're going towards election. So I normally say take advantage of already that this is literally taking advantage of what you have. So you use the same clients. So if you have, even if it's, you don't have to have like 10 clients, even if you have 3 clients or 4 clients or 5 clients, the same clients, just list down and you see this person, which other legal service can I provide for these clients? And chances of those clients, because the good thing is you're informed, you have the information. This is even easier than now getting a new client. Because this new client, or the way you market yourself, you're not so sure what this client is looking for. So you have to just, so take advantage. I hope you're getting my point from this, because it really works. The fifth way I think you can get a client is write a book or articles. Do articles. For me, I'm a good example of that. Me, I've written a book. For those who don't have written a book, Simplify Legal Process of Buying Land in Kenya. And that book has given me clients. So just, you don't have to be an expert. I don't want to say you don't have to be an expert. No, you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be like have 20 years experience. Of course, me, I don't have 20 years experience, because as an advocate, I was admitted in 2019. What you just need is knowledge and be creative about it. For me, the thing I did when I wanted to write my book is I checked people who had written the same books. It's similar. Then I noticed most people had written, it's more complex. That's why I made mine very simplified. And it has the book, and now you see now I've created 2 sources of income. Because now I'm earning from selling the book and I'm getting clients who buy my book. So that's another way. And and my book, I actually self-published it. So you don't have to, like I've said, you don't have to do land because I did land. You can do an area that you're well conversant with. And for a book, you don't have to make it like complicated. You can just do a simple book. But then most people have sold books where they have just, like, you find someone maybe who has had a website for years and has been sharing certain content, maybe cooking ideas, has been sharing for years. That person just goes to the website and collects all the articles and makes a book. Like, it doesn't have to be, so long as it's informative and it's impactful, that's enough. But if maybe writing a book might seem harder, you can do articles. So saying you can do articles. Maybe now they have said have a website. If you have a website, do frequent articles. Like, even if you check my book, most of the things there come from the articles I did before in my website. Because from there, even, you're building. So by the time you're building your name in that area. So by the time even you're writing the book, or maybe by the time you're like, by the time you're even telling people I'm an expert in this area of law, you've already put yourself out there. Like, it's not the first time most people are getting to know you from that perspective. So that's my advice, because it has worked for me. By the way, these things, I'm saying them from what has worked for me. Not like something I just went and Googled somewhere. I went and Googled and found ways. I'm talking from experience, like what has worked for me so far. The sixth point, or the sixth way of getting clients, is, I think, have a niche. Have a niche. Don't be a jack of all trades. Have a niche. Yeah, I know it's dangerous career-wise to specialize when you're just starting out. It's hard, because even I remember, normally joke with my colleagues the way, even if someone comes to you and they have a tax matter, you are a tax lawyer at that point, because you just get the brief, then now either research or get advice from someone who is more conversant with that, because you can't, at that time you need the money, so you can't, like, it's risky the point here is it's risky to specialize when you're starting out, but it's very important to have a niche. You don't have to, like, for me, I don't only do land law. I've just went from, I think I've even said I do family law, I do divorce matters, I do family law, I do succession matters, I do employment law, I do commercial law. But it's always important, despite the fact that you do all those matters, make sure you have an like something that like you've majored in. Because trust me, they have said you share content on social media on your website. If you're writing articles on all those areas of law. No, you have not given yourself like, so it's so hard for you. Let's say you're the way now. Maybe you're doing content. You even do land law. You even do election laws. You even do everything like commercial laws. You even do employment law in your website. And then for me, I've majored only. They have said in land. If we have someone who wants a land lawyer, who will the person go to? Who do you think this person will go to more? Is it the person who is more conversant with various areas of law? This person who has built a niche on land law. Chances are this person will be like, this person is an expert in land law, because you can't be an expert in all areas of law. So that's what I normally say. Ensure, build a niche. Yeah, even when starting out, get like, for instance, if maybe employment matters, do employment. But it doesn't. I also don't mean don't share content on those areas. Share the. I hope you get my point. Share them, but ensure you've like there's one that you measure. By measure, you've measured in is mostly that's the one that you like. You may find it has like it has taken half of the content, 50% alone. Then the rest I've shared the other 50%. Make sure you have a niche. Seventh way of getting clients is have a practicing certificate. Yes, this one might look like you're wondering how does it fall here. Trust me, people nowadays, people have been conned enough, I think. That's why people nowadays, most people will search. So even I normally say, the moment you do a demand letter to these big corporations like a bank, the first thing they normally do is search if you are active in the LSK portal. That's normally the first thing they do. So that's why even this is also dangerous for you because they might use it against you. So that's why you find maybe they don't even respond to your demand letter. They're just waiting to use it against you. So make sure you get a practicing certificate. I know, especially as a newly admitted advocate, it's normally we're even talking about this in lawyers. The social media pages I've told you, lawyers helping each other last week. I think it was we were talking about last week. I think it was on Thursday or Friday about practicing certificates. The way it's so expensive for people, but it's necessary. You got to do what you have to do to have it because it's like you need it to make money. So I was, because I know for new, that's what I was even saying. I understand for newly admitted advocates, it's 21,500. That's a lot of money for someone who has just been admitted. You may not even have a job, or as advocates, we know as well as we know how much we are paid during holding over. Some people even may not be, maybe even at that time you don't have holding over. You're paid, and that's the money you have to use to pay your bills. So it's normally so difficult for advocates. So but it's important if you want to get your first clients as an advocate. People will search you. So don't, it's just like if the way you implement all these things, maybe put yourself out there on social media, have a website, then you fail to have to be active. That's not going, you've just, because this person will be like, hey, this person is sharing good content on this area of law. I would like to engage this person for my services. Then this person goes further to search you, and then they find you are inactive. This person is not going to reach out. But then people take this for granted. And I realized that I remember I was even sharing in the same page the way there's a time I had a plea at Kibera Law Courts. The prosecutor just decided to search some young advocate who had just been admitted this year. They just decided to search them. And they were inactive, and they used that against her. So I normally say, it's hard, but you got to, even if you have to get a loan somewhere, please do it. Because especially if your aim is to get clients, please ensure you're active. Nowadays, people search. You might assume people don't. Even me, let me even give an example of myself. I remember there was a time, I think when I was getting my second practicing certificate, but it was, I didn't put it as a priority. So I was like, I'll get it at around March. I'll apply for it in February, then maybe I get it in March. I didn't apply it in January. Then I remember that same January, and then towards the beginning of February, there's a client who called me and was like, but I've been seeing your content. I wanted to engage your services, but I just searched you and you're inactive. You see, that thing is so important. That's why nowadays for me, it's like I normally save and I can't, like I can't pay my rent before I pay for my practicing certificate in January. I can't. Like it's now a priority. It's a priority because that's how it's a way of you are going to make money. So people say also me, I won't lie, and I'm sure there's some advocates also who maybe feel that way, like you don't give it as much priority as it should. Because even during January and February, March, the first, you normally don't get work, a lot of work. You find maybe you don't have much work. So don't give it a priority. Ensure that should be the first. Ensure you are active. Ensure you're active. The last point I would say, have a marketing strategy. There's this book I really like, Attorney Marketing. It has good advice. It's written by advocates in Chicago, so mostly it may not apply to the Kenyan market. But as you all know, we have borrowed most of our laws there. So, but there's some things that applies because these people, what they advise according to marketing yourself. But then they share all these things. They share all these things, having a website and everything. But now there's a part where they say you should have a marketing strategy, make marketing yourself an everyday thing, like every day. Like every day, set aside like 2 hours to market yourself. Like basically, what you do, write your current clients, then see like track your clientele, like this month how many clients have I gotten, this month how many clients have I gotten, what am I doing to get new clients, what am I getting to get new clients, what is this strategy I'm using currently, is it working or it's not working. So for instance, let me give an example. If for instance in social media you've been like you're noticing is using social media, generally it's not working for you, take advantage of ads, sponsored ads, where you pay 1,000 and you sponsor an ad. Do an article and sponsor it. Imagine you sponsored ads. I take advantage of them mostly, but and you pay 1,000 and you for a week for your post to be sponsored. What for those who might not know, sponsored ad means your ad will be shown to people even who don't follow your page. So now that you'll be showing. Now that's a new strategy because if you are doing posts or articles, chances are very high it's the same people who are reading them, the same people, the same audience. So by doing a sponsored ad, because these are people, because it will show it to people even who don't follow your page or who don't follow you. So it will be you showing your content to new people. So that's a new strategy. That's a way I can say that's a good way of getting your first clients. So you ensure you have a marketing strategy because you have to have a plan. You can't, I was just saying that you can't just wake up in the morning, then go and sit in your office or just see, if you don't have an office, maybe just sit and expect to get clients. You have to have a strategy, have a plan for it. As I've said, I've already shared. As I've said, I already shared a video on how to get it. This is part two. So I hope this video has been helpful. So if you have any questions or you need any clarification, you can put it on the comment section. Also, you can just, as I've said, our social media handles, Lawyers Helping Each Other 2020 on Instagram, Lawyers Helping Each Other on Facebook, and Lawyers Helping Each Other on LinkedIn. So you can just follow us there. That's where we have constant conversation. People share. It's not even only me. It's not like I'm done. Like everyone shares their opinions on certain things. We put up questions, so you can follow us there. You can also follow us on our blog www.mrnui.com. I've put it here on the screen. So thank you for watching.